kick this shit.
You hit it off with the bumper, now straight down the middle again. You had a fling with a slingshot, you're rolling out the alley again.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Zach and Greg from Straight Down the Middle in the Echo Chamber.
Hello.
Honestly, we just wanted to say hi, hang out, do another video for you guys. We didn't want to have to do all this big setup, did we?
No.
So we don't care about the audio.
Cold here in India.
Guess what? Type below if it's got an echo. We don't care. We could have done the lapels. You alright?
Yeah, got something in my mouth already.
Gray hair in your mouth?
Yeah.
Look, that's what came out.
Oh, did it?
Look at it.
Oh, that's a pube. Did you see it curled up?
That's weird. My grandma is visiting this weekend.
Oh, shit.
We just want to come hang out. So, yeah, for all the fancy audio, video stuff, you'll see it in next year, 2023 probably.
Yeah.
We just want to hang out today.
Fancy schmancy.
Yeah, we're celebrating our holidays together, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah, finally.
We haven't hung out in a while.
No, it's been a while.
And we wanted to kind of recap 2022 for you guys and to let you guys know what we thought about some of the games that came out this year.
Yeah.
What we liked, what we didn't like, what we thought, what we thought,
Yeah, there was a lot of.
Anything certified boner this year?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, a little semi.
Kind of, yeah. Semi-flaccid. We're allowed to talk about that.
I think we talked about it. It hasn't been canceled yet, damn it. All right, so the games that came out this year, Greg, include Rush, James Bond,
Yes.
007. We haven't seen a lot of James Bond yet, still waiting on code.
Weird Al.
Weird Al?
Multimorphic.
What's the whole title? Let's see if you know it. Weird Al's...
Museum of
Yeah?
Natural Oddities.
Natural Hilarity.
Hilarities.
It's close. By Multimorphic P3. Cactus Canyon remake.
Yes.
It's about damn time. You get that?
About time to already remake it.
Oh, right. Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Very controversial pin there.
much so.
We had Super Hoop, which
Yeah.
we haven't played yet. Haven't really seen it. Doesn't look that great. This is Spinal Tap again.
Yeah, not really.
Whatever. And Flipper Foxtrot Rhythm Explosion.
Yeah.
That's a Multimorphic P3 add-on.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then Alien.
LV.
Alien kind of came out, but the LVs really started rolling out this year.
Yes.
And you've got one.
Yes.
You've got a lot of games this year.
Yes.
What do you have now? You have like 10 games.
No,
Seems like it.
I just got rid of that Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Godzilla.
My collection has, I mean, it's sort of changed, but it hasn't changed a lot.
It seems pretty awesome.
Still Lethal Weapon 3, always. That's
Yeah.
never going to leave. Still got my Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's probably
You
never
still have
gonna leave.
Rush.
Still got Rush.
That's going to be leaving at some point. That's
Yes.
kind of like a tech thing.
Definitely.
But you're loving that.
Lost World, never leave, obviously. Jurassic Park.
Toy
Stern.
Story, you've been
Toy
looking to
Story
trade
4.
that, sell that.
Probably will trade it.
about
What's
it,
sitting
isn't it?
next to that? On my blank.
That was it.
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween.
Can I forget Halloween?
Where you
There you go.
Yeah, what do you think about Halloween? Is that,
I still love Halloween.
so it's not going anywhere?
No.
Huh.
No. It's got a place.
Mine's not either.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I know people thought whatever when I said that it was just like maybe
Yeah.
that whole little honeymoon
Oh,
thing.
honeymoon, yeah.
But
You're just chilling.
no.
Hey, we at Flipping Out Pinball are now official dealers of Spooky Pinball, so now they can claim that we're just shilling for them. So yeah.
I'm gonna get me a Scooby.
So
You can say I'm shilling on that.
Wooby Woo,
Yeah.
Scooby Doo. That's going to be on our next video. We're going to talk about what's coming out. Maybe in 2023. Check out that video as well. But for now, let's go over 2022. I think
Okay.
every single video we do from now on, Greg, or any type of product that we're creating, we have to say thank you to the anonymous person who gifted us for Christmas our dream camera.
I was blown away.
The 6K red filmmaking.
Yes.
That's not this camera, guys.
No.
That's not this one. You're going to see some of the use of that
Yes.
in 2023.
Oh, definitely. Something we've been working on for a long time.
Yeah.
In a sense, we've been working
We're
on
in
it for a long time.
pre-production.
Yeah, off and on, and throwing things around. But that camera sort of made it.
Why can't we tell them we're
reality.
making a movie?
Short, I think.
Well, we're
That's
still
where
in
we're not.
negotiations. We're gonna make some cool stuff. So thank you to that person. They want to be anonymous, so we'll call them Ted, I guess.
Thank you, Ted.
Tom, Bob, whatever the hell
Thank
you
you,
want.
Tom, Bob.
Thank you. Brought tears to our eyes, but we're kind of sensitive.
Because I was listening to your pinball show where you told the story about how that it all came in, and I was thinking back, and that's why I was so blown away too, because it was one of those hypothetical things, and when I was like, we'll see what happens, and then when you shot me that picture and you sent that, I was like, somebody actually bought us this camera. I've never had anybody do something so nice in my life. That's unbelievable. It's beyond insane. So we're going to keep saying it. Thank you. And if you want to be mentioned like this all the time, send us something really cool too, and we'll mention you too. All right, let's talk about the games of 2022. We could talk about this in reference to like some of our categories, art or layout or stuff. But the games that stick out to me the most are the Stern stuff: Rush, James Bond, JJP. Yes. The Toy Story, CGC. Yes. Right, with Cactus Canyon remake. And then there's for me, it's like another tier below that. That's where you get your alien, multimorphic stuff. And then there's like I don't know where in the hell you're even at yet with Super Hoop. This is Spinal Tap. Yes. Probably won't talk about that. What stood out to you visually this year? We had some lookers, some not so lookers, like Rush. It got kind of ripped on the artwork for 2022.
So the weird thing about Rush is no one you don't walk up to Rush and you don't sit there and go, oh my god, this is just gorgeous. It doesn't.
The LE is kind of pretty.
It is pretty. They're all pretty games. They all are so they just fit.
But that's not why people are buying.
But no, that's not why people are buying. That's what I'm saying. Like they're still a pretty game. They're not ugly. They're not like Walking Dead ugly. Like you're not just like turned off by it. It's Walking Dead's ugly. Yeah. So, but it's just not the prettiest of the bunch.
I agree. I think it's pretty, the middle of the playfield's ugly. I'm not supposed to say that.
No, what?
But it is. For me, it is.
It is.
You think it's endearing. I don't.
There's something that just throws back like that 70s nostalgia to it with the little.
What about the theme, like of Rush?
Oh man, I love Rush. Okay, listen. Here's like I love Rush.
Okay.
I like Rush. I love Rush. Right. Like I'm not a Rush fan. Like I'm not gonna go buy multiple albums, but I turned on some Rush.
You like that music?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. And it's an odd thing, man. I was talking to somebody about it. I find it so weird because I think that if any of us were gonna go,
who are you talking to, Geddy Lee?
Here's a band. We're gonna give you Rush. It's like shit. Does that really make a good pinball machine? But
I don't get it.
It fits. The music fits when you're playing that game. It feels
rock and roll.
It feels perfect.
Sure.
But dude. Rush is still just not rock and roll. Rush has a different feel to it.
It's got it's like a psychedelic kind of thing too. It's Canadian, so they're always weird. Sorry, Canadians. They're always overly nice.
Yeah, it just feels good. It's not something like Iron Maiden that's a little quirky. It's not something like AC/DC. It's just in your face.
I honestly,
like Metallica.
For how many themes are out there, I'm going to be maybe prickly because I just had back surgery. I'm in pain. I've quit smoking. I'm going to keep it real. I don't get it. For certain pinball, there's so many themes out there to go with. Rush is not one that I think you would hit for the next 100. But to each of their own, it sold well.
Hey, listen, that's what I'm saying.
It sold well.
Listen, I don't get it either out of everything that you'd have to pick from, but it worked.
It worked. Now, what really worked on Rush thus far, John Borg's layout, people are calling this a better shooting Turtles.
Yeah, it's a little more forgiving than Turtles.
Smooth.
It is.
Smoother.
Still fast.
But
it's just not brutal.
It's a Borg.
But it is hard.
It's a Borg game.
It is.
People like the code.
Oh,
this is the code darling of the year. I would say that most people are going to say that if you looked at all of the categories, Rush would take home the best code of 2022.
Yes.
I don't think that's a stretch.
No. It's kind of one of those things, I don't know if we're leaping into this.
Leap wherever you want.
It is that comeback game.
It's the Comeback Kid award.
This game, it was one of those games that was just like, okay, it was whatever, it's Rush.
It came out, it had decent sales, just similar to every other new Stern.
It wasn't dogged, it wasn't torn apart.
Nope. But it sold good, then it didn't sell any, but now, there goes those sales again.
Yes.
It's a complete game. Yeah. It's a really complete game. The code is there. You said there's so many little bitty intricacies that you'll never see through the whole game. There's so many strategies and rated and tip sets and are the best at that kind of thing. But
and the code is just so varied. That's what he did. Like he just varied it. Like I'll always go back to like Working Man is one of my favorite things in there with the countdown to get to be able to get off work or whatever for it to end on the clock.
There's little stories.
Like, yes.
Instead of it just being a GNR, it's playing music.
Yes.
No, there's stories. To Red Bruschetta is about you got the car, the red car, you're driving the gears.
And that's sort
shots
of
the gears.
The weird thing is it's almost like it's a journey.
Stories.
It shouldn't be a journey pin, but it is a journey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going through things. Like, the modes aren't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, Iron Maiden with Flight of Icarus and stuff. Like, you sort of have some stories with it.
It's like that.
It is, but it takes it almost a step further. It
does, yeah.
It's a little more fleshed out.
I agree with all that.
Like,
I agree with all that.
And it just...
I still think the code's confusing as shit. I don't get... I don't know. I just... there's uses of colors that confuse me. And I love that Ray Day, he's a friend of ours. Ray Day is one of the main coders for this. Brilliant man, one of the greatest pinball players of all time. He is passionate about this, which comes through on this.
Yes.
He did a baby's first tutorial where he's showing just the basic how to start modes, how to start multi-balls.
Yeah.
One of the best tutorials I've ever seen. You have to check that out on YouTube. He was almost tongue-in-cheek making fun of... He thought everybody, like, it takes a noob to not understand the basics of this code. Come to find out, it helps so many people.
Yes.
Where so many people are like, no, this is super helpful, actually.
The weird thing about the game is, and we discussed this before, and, he changed a few things on the LCD for,
progress.
Yeah, like a progress type thing. But it is something, and I can't put my finger, I still cannot put my finger on it. Because I was confused too coming into it, and there's still some things that confuse me about. So I can't put my finger on like what. Yeah. Why is it? Because there's nothing that stands out, and you go, yeah, this is exactly.
You play the hell out of this game.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
You play the hell out of there for a while. You're playing this more than Godzilla.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Easily. If I had a choice at one point in time, it was definitely playing Rush.
Right now I've got 10 Sterns in my lineup back there. Rush isn't in there. I don't think Rush is going to make it in there.
But if
does that mean?
No, because if the theme doesn't mean anything to you, and
theme doesn't do anything, code doesn't do anything.
If I would have never brought that game home, I would have never respected it. I would have been exactly where you are. I would have said, I don't understand this game. I don't know what's going on. Hey, I like the way it shoots, but I don't understand it. But then getting it home and being able to
and I love the layout. I love the toys. The time machine's awesome.
Oh,
I think it's cool.
It still feels good. It feels better to me than the Lord of the Rings ring. Stupid. It sounds except for certain modes that the ring's used for.
Man.
But I'm just saying, overall, I like the time machine a little better than the ring.
We're going to be reviewing this game formally here soon. I have a feeling it's going to get high ratings from you. For me, it's a great game.
Yes.
I just think it's for more the turny, competitive, the intricate players. I don't see it as immersive.
It is. No, it is immersive. But if you don't like the music at all,
I like the music's fine.
Then it'll grab you. To me, you know exactly what this is put in terms. Like when sometimes you get a big blockbuster movie that comes out and it just sucks. Everybody goes, it sucks. You get something that's like, not very mature. You remember when Shrek came out? Shrek was not talked about a lot.
I know, but that was great.
But it was a great film, and now look what happened. Yeah. But it took word of mouth, and it took it to get. This is what that.
You know what Rush reminds me of? Rush reminds me of. You know how many people love.
I was talking about Shrek the movie.
No. Okay. This film that I'm about to say, people love it. They still herald it as one of the great sci-fis and stuff of our newer times. Okay. And I never got it. Just doesn't. Super 8.
Oh, I didn't like Super 8 that much.
A lot of people love Super 8.
No.
I'm like,
I thought it was too forced.
Yeah, it's not Stranger Things.
No, it's not. It's what Spielberg wanted Stranger Things. Yeah. He wanted it to be Stranger Things.
Yeah, Abrams.
Yes. Abrams did it. So sorry.
Yeah, so I get that it's good. I
like Abrams.
I don't care. You know what I want to know?
It's not a hit.
For all the people with Rush Pros and Premium Stern Pinball, where in the fuck are the expression lighting system? This game came out a year ago, and that accessory still isn't available. It's only available standard on the LE, and they told us that it was going to come out. They don't have any Rush accessories out yet. No topper, no shooter rod, no armor.
But do you think because it took off with such, it was a slow burn? And a slow build getting to where it was.
Questioning whether
maybe they pulled some stuff back and said, hey, we're going to put something else a little bit ahead of this because we're not going to really dive in. We're not going to continue doing this if we don't think sales are going to be where they are. But I do think they are now.
They've got to now because it was like that thing where Mandalorian with the topper. Like Mandalorians were sitting. Even though it was a great game, they were sitting. Topper comes out, Mandalorian sales go up.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to have to do that with Rush, but now Rushes are selling regardless.
Yes.
But I'm getting emails. People want these expression lights, and I don't blame them. On Led Zeppelin, it changes the game.
Yes.
On the Rush LE, it changes the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stern, come on, where you at? You gotta cut into all your cabinets. All right, I'm done talking about Rush, but Rush bores me. What about James Bond? That's the most recent release. It was released in October-ish.
Yeah.
A hell of a launch for Stern Pinball. They hit every damn rock down that gravel road on the launch of this game.
Yes.
They still don't have a fully launched. Here in a bit, we're going to see the 60th anniversary L1 edition, single level, totally different. But this is our homie Gomi doing the Pro Premium and LE. It doesn't have any code. It's at 0.8 now, I think.
Yes.
So it's a little better, but
it's not like we haven't been here before. We've been here before.
Feels like Batman 66 all over again.
It does.
But a better shooting Batman.
Yes.
In my opinion. It shoots really good.
Yeah, it does shoot. It does shoot better than Batman.
A lot
I'm
of
not mad at
shots.
Batman.
Toys are.
But here's my thing: is everybody's jumping on to the whole thing of like, you know what? Well, at least we knew Lyman was on Batman, so we were going to be taken care of.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's a very good point. But also in reality, what Stern has truly disappointed us in the last 3 years.
I can't.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, it might be some time, and it might not be. You know, the code might not be there right now, but they're slowly rolling some things out.
Even people love Led Zeppelin code.
Yeah,
and they're mad at that game for not having anything in it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, the thing is no matter who's on it,
still monsters. I think
it's a George Gomez game. I don't think George is going to allow shit code to be on that game.
What George Gomez game has been bad?
Exactly, because his name is on that game.
Yeah.
George is not going to allow it to go. You know what I'm saying? So I feel.
And it's still the likes of the people that we love. Mike Vinacourt and Lonnie Robb, they did Stranger Things.
And I loved that code. I loved it when it came out of the box.
There was a lot of code.
Yes.
There's a lot of code on that game.
Yes. So I think obviously it's one of those things we never want to go back to because I think Stern there, you know, that was old Stern. Stern for the most part had been cranking out games that were decently. So this is almost like 3 year ago Stern, 4 year ago Stern.
And I don't think it's them because there was not like crazy great themes, IPs used in pinball for 2022. I don't think. No. I would give the nod to James Bond for being the best IP.
Yes,
that's the best theme.
It is.
Yeah, because it's better than Rush.
It is.
A lot of people, like personally, for me, Toy Story 4 is better, but I can see James Bond is a better theme
overall
than Toy Story 4.
Yes.
Cactus Canyon is an original theme.
Yeah.
Alien, you can argue, but that's kind of last year's game or the year before.
Weird Al, a lot of people would argue that, but it's a generational. That's a generational thing.
Hits my generation and went right over my head. But James Bond, the IP holder, I think, is what's getting in the way of this code.
Yes.
It still has a thing, Greg, that's like
pending approval.
Pending approval. Yeah. So maybe the code can't come out because they haven't approved any of this stuff yet.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, we a lot of times know that there's a lot of things that we can't discuss. There's a lot of things that we always know that go on within manufacturing or other things that we just cannot tell people. This is not one of them. But hypothetically, you know, let's just say that it is that. And then people will always argue, well, then why not push the game back? Why not hold the game? Well, you know what? There are hundreds of people that they have to keep employed. It takes time to build games. Yeah. So if you've got other things that are coming, you've got to move that manufacturing line. And you want to start getting these games out there. You don't want to wait. And so if it is being held up,
they've already skipped a cornerstone.
Yes, exactly.
And it's the 60th anniversary. And you have agreements with these contract IP holders to get it out certain time.
Yes.
I get all of it.
It's like world politics versus local politics. Yeah. Like there are so many intricacies of dealings and back and forth and everything that we just don't see and don't know about that I being in this business a little bit, I give them a little more grace than what a lot of people do.
Yeah, they don't want this.
No.
They don't want it to be like this. No. That's why I always remind people, oh, you think that this is how they want it? No, I think this is, if anything, they get the best IP, but maybe the worst IP to work with.
Yes, because the whole bullshit of negative publicity is still good publicity is bullshit. They don't want this negative publicity.
No.
They don't want it at all. So it's out like they're not doing it on purpose.
George Gomez, this is like one of his dreams that he loves this theme. I can say the art on the cabinet with the posters looks like crap. I don't like that, but that's an IP thing.
Yes.
They said that they wanted that. I don't think that looks good. When it comes to shots, that's great. Code's not there yet. Toys, I like the Bond on the wand. The phallic thing in the back is fine. I like the submarine or the other layer with the scuba guy. That's fine. The out of the hatch, the jump.
Yes.
What is that called? The booster thing out of the car, out of the Aston Martin.
Oh,
ejection seat. That's cool.
See, this is where I get off on tangents, and this is what goes from making it a quick video to what we end up making.
It's supposed to be done.
But I like to put to bed arguments, like because I've heard people I like to get argumentative, like
put to bed arguments.
Put to bed an argument.
You like going to bed early anyway.
I do, yeah. So see, maybe that's why I like
a little sooner.
So that's why I like. But you got people that goes, well, then why fuck with that? Why fuck with that IP then? Well, a lot of times you don't know until you get so deep in. You've already spent money on the license, and then you start working with the licensor. You start to put stuff together. Sometimes you don't know until midway through or midway
through the first date. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god,
it's high maintenance.
Yeah, this fucker's crazy.
I just swiped right, but damn.
Exactly, but you're already so deep. You kind of got to keep rolling with it for a minute.
Yeah, you haven't been out in a while.
Yes,
I mean it's been a while.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just have to because you have so much. You have so much invested.
Speaking of IPs and putting stuff in games.
Yes.
He's like, hear me. Here. I can tell you a thing or two.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
the LE looks good though.
Oh my god.
Probably the prettiest LE trim that Stern's used in a while. They were doing some weird stuff where we kept getting silver on Mandalorian and Godzilla. And then we
like that silver on Mandalorian.
And then we get like Avengers bright yellow. And then it's like, wow. But then you get this teal for the LE. Oh, that works.
It fits
that looks good.
Much. That entire art package and everything on that LE is gorgeous.
Yeah, until the posters, the side of the poster. Yeah. And then the Sega graphics on the... I figured you love the art on the playfield.
I don't
look like freaking Sega.
I like Sega.
I know.
Sega.
Where's Orin Day at when we need him? So that's James Bond. What about Toy Story 4?
Ooh, possibly the most controversial game of the year.
I don't think it's possible.
Possibly.
It is. It's the most controversial game of the year.
Yes.
Of the year. But you and I really like this game.
Yeah.
We got shit for liking this game. You're not allowed to like this game.
No.
This game came, and I get some of the arguments.
I do.
This game came, though, with a narrative and some toxicity that reminded me of a game like a Stranger Things when it came out.
Yes.
When if you liked it, it's because you were shilling it. That's the only reason.
Yes.
And if you didn't like it, then you're smart and you're right.
Yes.
And then come to find out, people are like, oh no, it is a great game.
And Star Wars was sort of the same way to an extent.
Same thing.
Sort of the same thing. It was too barren. There wasn't enough going on. There wasn't all this, and then it turns out to be one of the better Stern games ever made.
It takes people time, and I get the argument. The argument is, Greg, it's too much money for what's in it.
Yeah,
I can see that argument.
It's expensive.
It's Toy Story 4. I didn't want Toy Story 4. I wanted Toy Story 1 or 2 or the whole thing.
Who would not want Toy Story?
I see that argument, but to then say it's the easiest game ever. The art sucks. There's nothing in. Oh bullshit! This game is freaking loaded.
I've only got the fireworks one time.
Yeah, so it's not too easy. No. It's a beautiful game. It's still Toy Story. There's so much. It's still bullshit, but people are still holding on to the I can't buy this game or I'm a loser kind of thing.
So I had some family over, and some family they really enjoyed it for the holidays, and I actually expressed that sentiment because some of my family I'm trying to get into pinball a little bit, but they're not there at all, really. And they were still blown away. Like it's Toy Story.
Yeah,
they didn't get why people were so mad about it being Toy Story 4, and they like Toy Story. They're very familiar with the IP, obviously, but they were still like kind of blown away that it's still Toy Story. I'd still want this.
Yeah,
like it doesn't bother me, and I think it's just us, or not us, but pinball people. Yeah. I think a little more than what you take for the lay public.
To me, anybody complain about Toy Story 4 theming and then they're rah-rah behind Rush, I'm like, maybe I'm on crazy pills. Like, what? Where am I at? This is nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, so Rush is just such a great pinball theme, but Toy Story 4 is not?
See,
what's wrong with you people?
Like, I mean, again, like you said, I get a lot of
Ultraman? Really?
Yeah, now that one blows me away.
Really?
That one, yes.
Let's get behind that.
That one kind of blows me away.
This is the worst theme ever.
Yeah. It's just not a bad game. It doesn't deserve what it's getting. I understand, like you said, I understand the arguments. I understand why that you can the arguments that you're making are valid, but that does not mean it's a bad game. It doesn't mean it's not fun. That doesn't
Sales
mean...
have kind of tanked on it.
Yeah, well,
I'm being honest.
But Stranger Things did the same thing. Listen, when I got my Stranger Things, I sold that. I bought that.
Oh my God, I remember all that.
And I sold that game because it started losing so much money. I sold it within 4 weeks because it was losing so much money.
I remember that's the reason you. Yeah, because they were like, see, you hyped it up, and you really hate it, but you were lying to everybody, and you were like, no, I just am terrified to lose money.
And you hate the game, so you're going ahead and selling it after you hyped it. It was like, no,
I just don't want to lose money.
Didn't want to lose money.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, I held on to my Toy Story. I should have probably done the same thing with it, but I liked it, and I still wasn't done playing it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that it was going to go
south
as it has, like it did. But I think that there is the possibility.
I don't see it.
Oh, it's not going to be like come back. But I think that it could.
I think people are going to realize that they were wrong, but
Yes.
they're too proud to say anything. I still think JJP fumbled on timing. They were going through this pandemic, seeing everything go for so much money. They saw a Disney property and was like, we are going to be able to raise our prices and do it. The problem is,
When they had such a hit with GNR, they're coming off such a massive hit.
so they upped the price and they upped the allotment of the CE. So they doubled the CE amount. The price went up substantially. The problem is that was a hit there. The problem is, timing-wise on the pandemic was kind of fading down. They probably started playing in this stuff when it was in the heyday, but then they still didn't come out. It still didn't come out. And then by the time it came out, you hit people with the theme that they've already been brainwashed as Toy Story.
Yes.
JJP's got Toy Story, we got Toy Story coming. So we got Toy Story, which means toys. Right? Pat Lawler don't put a lot of like physical mechs and stuff in his game.
He didn't with Wonka.
Did with Wonka,
But I
people
love
shit
Wonka.
on Wonka.
Yes.
But not at first. People didn't like Wonka.
Yes.
Now it's one of the greats.
Yes.
But then you get all of that at the same time and just piss people off.
Yeah.
Just made people mad. I think people will come around.
I do too.
But if they want to sell more of these games, Greg, you know what's going to have to happen.
I think you need a little bit more code. You need a little bit more depth because I understand what Pat and Joe were going for because they expressed that to us when we met with them for the video.
Yeah.
It was like we want this to be accessible for everybody, and it is.
And it's still going to be hard to get through 2 times.
Yes.
I've not done it.
No, I haven't come close.
No.
But like, I just there needs to be a little bit more filler in between there. Like we always come back to Deadpool, or at least I do, with everything hits, like Mech Suit Multi-Ball, all this different stuff hits at the perfect time.
Same with Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, yes,
you
exactly.
get your golden tickets, and it's another experience. Every golden ticket you get.
Yes.
It needs that.
It needs something like that to keep you going because, and then I think it would reinvigorate that game. And I think, and I also just think, listen, I think just the negative hype. It's got to be one of those things with time. Like once something else comes out and you start to, it becomes controversial.
Yeah.
Bond is hitting a little bit of that just because of the code.
Bond will be fine because Stern can do no wrong. They can't.
Well, and they
everybody
know
else got to prove themselves. Stern doesn't have to anymore.
But I think that once, a year from now, 6 months from now, you're going to start to see Toy Stories. That's where you're going to be.
Yeah, but it's crazy because people would pay 15 grand for a CE. They would pay 12 grand for an LE with nothing changed except for the code. If they did a Wonka 2.0, that game would be on fire sales-wise. But they're not going to do it. I doubt they're going to do it.
I like the code. But I
don't
would
think
like
Joe Cat's going to do it.
I'd like a little bit more. I just want a little bit more.
Why wouldn't they want to, though? Because I think what's going to happen, right? They're just going to move to their next title, which is a rumored Godfather.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see Joe Katz going back in or them saying, hey, Joe, we want you to spend more time on this, unless they built a ton and they had a warehouse full. But I think they're building them as they've sold to dealers.
Yes.
Now, dealers start backing out and losing money, because we have to do non-refundables as dealers.
Yeah.
I've already canceled a couple of CEs.
Yeah. You might revisit it. I think it's just going to be a slow, I think it'll pick back up a little bit. It's not going to come out, like you said, you're not wrong. It's going to be nowhere near Stranger Things. But because also Stranger Things was a continuing show too. So, and the show progressively got better in a sense. So you had that going for it, but it was still a good game all the way around. Star Wars, same thing. I don't think it's going to come back to that extent, but I do think that sales will pick up once the negative hype dies down.
They'll pick up a little bit.
Once the shame falls off of owning that game is when that's the simplest way to
And it's usually whenever their next one comes out. So Godfather comes out, and for whatever reason, if people like that or don't like that, those that don't like that, Toy Story is such a 180 that they're going to go back. Just like when Toy Story came out, people were buying GNR left and right.
Yes.
They're like, oh, okay, I know I don't want that.
Yes.
I'll get my GNR.
Yep. And I think that's what's going to happen with that game, because it's still arguably one of the most beautiful games ever made.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the other thing is, if you want a good chuckle, next time you're at a pinball function or something like that and Toy Story gets brought up and somebody says it's too easy, simply ask them if they've got to the wizard mode or beat the wizard mode. I've done that a couple times, and I always love. They were like, "Well, no," but like, I'm like, "Wow, okay."
Tell me how it's easy.
Can you get rid of that criticism then? Yeah. Get rid of that one. Say it's too expensive. Say you don't like the theme. Yeah. Don't say it's too easy.
No, because it's not too easy.
If they were to just change that second half of that wizard mode, because you got to get through it twice.
Yeah.
But the second half feels pretty similar to the first half. Just give me more there. That's all.
It's almost a little bit of a
Joe
monster.
Cass, that's it.
A little bit of a monster's effect.
That's it. That's all you need. But to say it doesn't have enough code, and then you have the same person buy Cactus Canyon. Guess what, people? Toy Story has more code than Cactus Canyon does.
It does.
I don't know what to do with Toy Story. I don't know what to do, but I do know what to do with Cactus Canyon.
Chrome it, brass it, black nickel it, candy chrome it, powder coat it. The possibilities are endless at pinballplating.com. Your pinball machine deserves the best. At Comet Pinball, you'll find the best variety of LED products with the best quality LEDs, and most importantly, at the best price. Your collection is begging for an upgrade. Order yours now at cometpinball.com. Check out Pin Graphics for the latest and greatest in pinball enhancements, power blades, blade skins, pin blades, and even more. Visit pingraphics.com now to see what's available for your pinball machine.
Where's the code? They did finish the code.
Yes.
It was a code in 1999, Greg. They didn't finish.
But it's
stopped production.
But even with the finished code, it's a normal Bally.
It's a Bally Williams game.
It's a Bally set of rules.
That's right. But people are like, the people that argue that there's not enough code in there, it gets boring. But it's still on medieval madness attack from Mars. Guys, it's the same depth.
It is.
It's the same depth.
But the thing you get with Cactus, though, is Cactus is so quirky fun. It's gorgeous.
If I gave achievements, I would give it the pure fun achievement. There's no more pure fun in pinball than Cactus Canyon.
No.
Pure fun.
And that's what makes up for the depth.
Yeah.
And that's when people argue that fun doesn't matter, that you don't pay for the fun. You do pay for the fun.
You sure as hell
That's
do.
the entire reason that you ride a roller coaster.
Yes.
Is it's fun. That's what everything you do. That's why you pay for a lot of experiences, because it's fun. That's why you pay high dollar for a lot of things, because it's fun.
God, not that rant again.
Oh, sorry.
God, we did have that rant in 2022.
But to me, if you were to take something, and it is literally the best bang for your buck that you could buy.
Yeah, you were saying that. I don't argue.
Jam-packed full with sculpts, toys, mechs. It is fun. It's beautiful.
Yep.
It's at a very reasonable price.
They didn't do a classic model.
No.
They only did an SE and initially an LE. SE is $8,000.
Yeah.
That at this point in time, listener, at this point in time, $8,000 is $1,700 cheaper than a Stern Premium.
Yeah.
You're at like a Stern Pro.
And you're pretty much loaded up with that game.
Full RGB, XL color display, speaker lights. I mean, you've got the whole damn shebang. And then they, I think, in my opinion, they underpriced their LE at what was it, like $9,250 plus shipping or $9,500 plus shipping.
I think it's easily a 10,
that's
10, 5.
That's a $12,000 game if we're talking about Toy Story 4 LE.
Yeah.
But it's the same LE.
Oh, the wood apron and the guns and everything. Like, there's so much that's put into that game. It's fucking ridiculous.
I did, am I going to get in trouble for saying this?
Probably.
The details in some of that code complete, I'm not supposed to say this, but I don't think they watch. It's too cool. It's too cool to keep. I'm sorry. I got to tell these people. the little bitty lighting details, because it's all RGB, even on the SE, it's all RGB, Greg, and I don't even think you know this, but like the little bitty details of what happens on that screen, and basically it bleeds off of the screen animation onto the playfield. For example, whenever the mayor comes up and he's giving you a mystery award and he's like, and he throws the money, right? He throws the money. The light show is coded, viewer, in a way where you then see the green on the back panel kind of fall down the ramps and stuff. And it's timed where the animation of the dollar bill comes and it goes right into just that subtlety. And I asked somebody, I'm pretty close to at CGC, I said, like, what the hell? Like, who's brilliant enough to did that? And you know what they said? The Lyman sheets.
Oh.
Yeah, so those are the little details that you get with this game. And they didn't want people, like, they don't want it out there probably because he was kind of a big help in finishing the code out, just completing the code, not this enhanced code we haven't seen yet with Josh Sharp and him, but just little details like that. He was a helper on that, and people don't want to be like, or CGC doesn't want to think, it's all just Lyman.
Yeah.
Because they have coders that have done a lot of that too.
Yes, it's worked a lot.
But just that example I gave them, they were like, yeah, that's Lyman's genius. But
but that is something that makes such a difference. You take things like when we talk about like Houdini with like the roving light, that comes across the playfield and stuff like.
Spotlight.
Like I think some of these pinball manufacturers,
there's the moments.
Like it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a ton of toys in Toy Story. It doesn't take a lot of.
There's the moments. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't
take a ton of toys in Toy Story. It doesn't take a lot of stuff. Like if you can create moments like that,
emotional moments,
that's all that freaking matters.
That's all that matters. We like other stuff too.
Yes. Oh yeah.
We like that stuff
listen,
too.
when we argue for something like that, we're not advocates against having more toys than mechs. But I'm just saying,
we're not going to throw something under the bus
if
it doesn't have. If it's not full with toys, though.
No.
As long as it does it right. But there's little details like that. So best bang for your buck is you're saying, like, there's so many details on the LE that, for me, Greg, this is everything.
It's everything we argue for.
The build quality, too.
It is.
Is there a better built game on the market than a CGC game?
And that LE is heavy as shit.
It's so beautiful.
I had to pull that out about.
Here's the issue with Chicago Gaming Company. They've messed up a lot on communication and timing.
Yeah.
I know everybody's got part issues, Greg, but damn, when you give an estimate, you really fuck that up. So much so that then you don't communicate afterwards. No, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. I don't care how cheap you price your products. I don't care how great you build your products. At the end of the day, it kind of does matter because it's worth the wait. But it still sucks that they don't communicate that stuff.
I can't stop.
It took forever for the LEs, and they're just now starting to trickle out. It's over a year. It's going to be like a year and a half before all of them start trickling out.
Yeah.
It's so nice, though. We're looking at it right now.
I know. Like, I can't stop looking at it. It's like
nice.
I do understand that. But, again, not knowing the internal workings, nobody wants that. So it's like, I don't know.
And for most pinball people, they're not going to get through the whole code. I think for $8,000, it's hard to beat that product. For somebody especially getting into pinball.
Yes.
For somebody getting into pinball and they want a family pin.
It's a really good first game.
Shoots great, codes great, looks great, sounds great, built great. There's very little issues with those games.
If the theme doesn't turn you off just because it's Wild West or whatever, it would be right up there with getting Deadpool or getting Star Trek as like one of your first games.
Completely
like if you just had a one pin collection, it's like, hey, what do I get for my first game? What's going to stay?
Now, have you played Weird Al a lot? I've played a handful of times at shows. It's the Multimorphic P3 platform. I think that this title alone, Jerry finally got an IP that people care about instead of original IP. This has helped this platform substantially.
Yes.
I think it has really brought a lot more ownership into the idea of the platform of the P3.
I think it elevated and put P3 on the map. Not that P3 wasn't, like people always knew of them, but like Cosmic Cart, like all, like people were just almost a novelty. This took it from being a novelty to
pay attention,
a pinball machine. To me,
I still won't own it. I still don't like the feel of it. I
don't mind the feel. I don't mind the feel. I don't know if I'd ever
get so much shit for that, but there's no way I'm wrong. I know how pinball machines feel, And if you want to complain about the softness of a JJP, if you want to complain about the spooky flippers,
but see, I'm not mad at either one.
Crazy pills.
But I'm not mad at either one of those games. Like, the only thing that would get me to buy a P3 is it would have to be like what Weird Al was to some of these people. Like, it would have to be a very strong theme that really grabbed me, and I'd go, okay, now I might do it. So if they continue down that road, they're going to get more of those platforms in people's houses. They're just going to have to continue to get really great. They're going to have to up one out and go a little bit more mainstream.
You're right, because I could probably look past the flipper feel if it was a Dynamite theme that I just freaking
If it came out and it was Back to the Future and you had...
Oh my God, don't do that. I'd be so mad.
No, I did. I know. But I'm just saying, like theme-wise, like if you had something, or, you know...
I'd be so angry.
If you had something like Goonies and you had...
don't! Stop it! I'll give you something. God, don't do that. No. No. I don't like the games yet. It just don't feel good yet. I'm sorry. They just don't feel good yet. It's technologically advanced. I still don't think they're making best use of LCD.
No.
I'm still going to be honest with people. No. They're just not.
I want to see the LCD. I want to see it
what I've been
significantly improve.
I want to see what I've been saying for years, what I talked to Jerry about 5 years ago, which he turned his nose up at. I want to see it look like a playfield.
Yes.
And then interact your inserts.
Yes.
And the insert lifts up and a bug crawls out of it.
Yes.
There's your idea.
You need to take everything that's fun about a virtual pin and the non-limitations that you have within a virtual
Zen
pin.
FX and all that bullshit.
You need to take it and basically make it a virtual pin combined. You're grabbing both worlds and you're able to do things that no other pinball machine can, but it feels like a pinball machine.
So true. But instead, what does it do? He tries to keep up with the animation of video games?
No, that's the problem. Because you look at the coding, you look at everything.
Lightspeed pixelated in a swamp?
Yeah. To render such great graphics, the computing power and everything you would need there is probably so astronomical.
The animators you would need.
Yes.
The time you would need.
The time. The money to do it does not make those games feasible.
Because Weird Al animation looks okay at times.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's still like a cell phone game, a shitty cell phone game.
Yeah.
Stop trying to compete with animation.
Whereas if you took a playfield, you rendered one really good visual of that, and then like you said, like bugs and different stuff coming out, you can now focus on those to make those creatures look. It's a small. You just don't have so much load.
Maybe you have when a ball tracks, it stays black because it's on fire. So that wood of that playfield stays on fire.
Yeah.
Just anything you could do anything with the top-down approach. That's
to where it's still super cool, but you're also giving people something that they don't get to see anywhere else.
The only cut sequences I want to see fill up that screen is if you have a fucking movie and you've licensed it out, and I see the Goonies cut sequence on that big ass screen. I care then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, stop trying with your animation, or you're not going to get off the ground.
Sort of like with Jurassic Park, like when the ball gets grabbed and the post comes up, post comes up for a minute.
I'm fine. Play
and then it goes
movie.
back to the play field. Perfect. And then,
stop trying to fill up fucking bologna sandwiches and think it's good art.
Oh, you just got
I'm sorry, people.
About something that's not happening.
I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I think it helps give some traction to that platform, but I still don't care. I still think if you're negative about that company, you still get, you get flame from the strong supporters.
But I do think they're headed in the right direction. Better direction.
When it takes them 14 to 16 months to get a Weird Al out, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, sure. They've got, 10 people building games?
It's a little better.
Sure, okay. Wait for your game. This is Spinal Tap. This is something I don't care about. Super Hoops,
I like
care
Spinal
less.
Tap, but no.
Could care less. Flipper Foxtrot, Rhythm Explosion, cool concept. I don't think utilized great on that platform. Could have been. I think it needs foot controls or something, not button controls. And for God's sakes, if we're talking about the Multimorphic P3, I'm going to stay on this. It comes standard where your third flipper and fourth flipper is on a different button. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Well, it's an option you can change in the settings. I don't give a shit if it's an option you can change. It should come out of the box where one flipper controls multiple things. Who wants to play the piano?
Yeah.
No.
Makes it a little tough.
And you can never stage a flipper on that game.
Oh.
No, even if you do the settings on the same button, they're not set up where the EOS is. You can ever Alien LV, what do you like about it?
Oh, one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen.
That LV, who would have thought the blue would have worked?
Oh,
Blue works perfect.
It was beautiful. Everything but the back glass. I'm an advocate from here on out. And I said this in a video. I don't have it edited yet. I could care less if every pinball manufacturer if they did away with their fucking speaker grills,
really,
like the entire panel, the LCD flip like stern and spooky. Because I was hesitant when I first grabbed that, and I was like, this is just one big sheet of plexiglass. I don't know about this. But then when you stand there and look at it, you're like, wow, it makes the game so much more immersive. So much room for such rich artwork. Like I love the speaker panels on Halloween, but can you imagine if all of that was one vibrant? Because that artwork's so gorgeous.
Like a circus full too.
Yeah, if you were to do it, it is so beautiful. The play field works. Everything works on it. Those light up fucking rails down the side are gorgeous and work.
That's some great innovation.
The cabinet artwork is gorgeous. It works.
I like the filaments, the clear filaments under plastics and stuff instead of metal.
It helps.
That's genius.
It helps add so much to that game. Yes,
RGB
the mood of it.
filled.
Yeah. It shoots okay, pretty good.
It's a wide body.
Like I'm not mad at it.
It's quirky. It's a wide body.
It is. The mechs are fun.
The Xenomorph's awesome.
The Xenomorph is
and
really
that chamber.
The chamber is really cool. I like that as a lock. It's just good, man. Like
there's a lot of cool stuff in it.
There is, and the build quality. I had to do some tinkering. A lot of people had to do some tinkering, but it wasn't anything that was bad.
Code's great.
Pinball Brothers has so far been phenomenal with their customer service.
They have been,
about responding to people very quickly, getting people parts out that need anything. Like I said, mine was just minor tinkering. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Oh my God, dude! There is a moment in attract mode that does almost like the Dolby Atmos, like and you're just like. Every time you hear it kick on, it sounds so good.
The head's a lot better than the highway one. It's not like a skinny. It's still a weird
but it fits in your collection way better.
Looks better than the highway.
Fits in the collection.
It's a beautiful game.
It is. And like I said, I'm happy with the build quality and everything so far. Like I think
They're selling well. Every time we get some in, they sell.
Yeah. Well, but I think that went a long way with Pinball Brothers because it doesn't take long for something like that to get around. Hey, I had an issue. Pinball Brothers was right there and helped
Took care of it.
Pinball. Like that's what everybody's fear with that entire game was customer service.
Yeah.
How much customer service am I going to get? Now that they see that they're getting a customer service, they feel they can buy it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Queen. Those will start rolling out next year.
Yeah, Queen's got a little bit against it.
See, that's where theme helps me because I like playing it, and we'll see. We'll see. Other things to mention in 2022, just products-wise, I mean, we have to mention the most ridiculous accessory probably of all time, the Mandalorian topper, the $2,000 3D holographic topper.
It's still awesome.
You saw it for the first time here, and you were like, yeah, it's really cool.
I saw somebody go, it's not as impressive in person. I'm like,
no, it's more.
Yeah, it is.
You can't film it. It's hard to film.
There's some things that I would change on there. I was telling you about, like I'd like a little bit more 3D sculpted
plastic
plastics
kind of stuff,
instead of flat plastics. But the hologram image thing is spectacular.
It's cool.
Everything about it's spectacular.
And you playing a game and seeing all the lighting, so it's cool.
It's insane.
So I'd give my nod to most ridiculously awesome accessory that nobody needs, but everybody wants.
Yeah,
I would go that. I want to give a shout out for 2022 for me was like the year of everybody agreeing and coming together. Like Stern's Insider Connected is legit fucking cool.
Yeah,
and it works great.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things that can be done in the future with it. Like, I think everybody's embraced and got behind.
Yes.
And I feel bad for the other manufacturers utilizing other things because those work great as well. It's just they're all in on this.
But when Stern, that's what I was going to say. When Stern dedicates a team, when Stern says, listen, it's all or nothing, that's a hard thing to beat.
It's hard to
when you dedicate that. And it's just fun. Like it taps into like those addictive receptors of the dopamine in your brain because you get to the point where I can't play a game. I can't scan in. I can't scan.
Right? I feel like I'm short.
Yeah, I don't even play my game.
Scan in.
It's like, what if I blow this son of a bitch up? What if I achieve this and I wasn't scanned in? I'm going to be scanned in.
It's so true.
Yeah, and it grabbed me from the first time because this Louisville show was the first time I'd ever messed with it really, and I fell in love with it because like I loved being able to track and watch all my stuff and get my achievements. So like
George Gomez killed it with that.
Hey, kudos, man, because it could have tanked.
Yeah, it could have been just a novelty.
It could have, but it's not.
They went all in.
It belongs in pinball now.
And we know that Gary Stern stepped down.
Yes.
So we've got Seth Davis stepping up and he likes a lot of this kind of stuff. How far does it go? Does it go to the paid stuff? I think it will. I don't know how far down that will go because it works in video games, so why wouldn't it work in pinball? We'll see. We'll see. Now, overall, I think it was a weird year.
Yeah.
I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Stern had one less cornerstone.
And that feels like it makes a huge difference.
We didn't get anything from American Pinball.
No.
We barely got something from Chicago Gaming. Check out the other video for 2023, our predictions and kind of the, behind the scenes stuff of what's coming. I think 2023 is going to be a damn good year.
Yes.
I think it's a damn good year.
It's going to eclipse 22.
Still supply chain issues, still pricing issues. There's still going to be all of that stuff. But 2022 is a weird year. A lot of cool stuff that came out of it. I didn't keep a lot of 2022 games though. So you still want me to have a rush, even that rush. Overall, best game, best product of the year for you.
Oh, man, Rush. Rush.
I'd say most people say.
Code still looks great.
Yep.
Fun as hell to play. Probably one of Borg's better shooting games that he's ever made. You got to see Ray Day really shine and come into his own with that game.
Yep.
I love everything about it. I like that it was an underdog and then fought its way to the top.
Yeah.
I gotta say Rush.
Yeah, I'm a Stern hype man. I'm a Stern shill. I have Stern friends. I love Ray Day. Love me some Borgie. Tim Sexton I don't really know, so take him or leave him. Sorry, Tim. I just don't know. I can vouch for so much stuff that Stern does. As a business flipping out pinball, I'll publicly say that Stern Pinball takes care of their dealers better than any other manufacturer. That's pretty bold of me to say publicly as a dealer, but it's just the truth.
And on the tech side, they're very good with me. Like I love
Eddie
everybody. Eddie, Tully, Pablo, like all of them are phenomenal with me, and I actually enjoy working with that crew and that team.
So it's hard for us not to just hype the hell out of Stern stuff because they do well. 2022, I'm not. I'm giving it to Chicago Gaming Company. I think that the build quality, the components in Cactus Canyon remake, the story and the lore behind this and how they finished it, having Lyman Sheets at helm with that story, the topper integration, that's one of the coolest toppers ever, and just the details of this game, all of the details. It's one of the most well-rounded products, not only of 2022, but of this past decade, and I feel super strong about that. It's one of the greatest pinball products ever made, period.
I honestly cannot put up an argument.
It does such a good job on every box. Now, Rush is gonna click better check boxes for me on some things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't miss a beat on any box.
No, it doesn't.
It is the roundabout the greatest pinball product I've seen in a long time. It's that good.
It's so close. Like I give it to Rush more because of the code, the depth, because that's a great shooting game.
Rush will give it to you as a pinball player, as a pure pinball player.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I would never knock you for that choice because you're not wrong in anything.
The details, the materials.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, because I think that if you were to take a poll and said, hey, listen, you got Cactus Canyon and you've got Rush, like here's what I'm going to present to you in both of these games. What would you take? I think it would be a very, very close.
Yeah, I've never come across a product that is just that well done.
You're not wrong.
It's just from a business standpoint, it's just a well done product.
It really is.
I applaud them for that. Jersey Jack, I'm interested to see. Toy Story was great. There's a couple swings and misses on that launch and that product in general, but just from a product perspective, CGC's taking it home.
But I've gotten to know Doug Duba.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit over the last year. And I will tell you, Doug's attention to detail and what Doug cares about. Like there's some nights I talk to Doug on the phone late and he's still at the office. It's like 7 or 8 o'clock.
He's a bad businessman in some ways because he cares more about the perception of how his products are going to be received.
Yes.
I told him before we launched this game, if you sell this for $92.50, this LE, you are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table.
But that's what I'm saying. He cares.
And he said, I really want to do right by the community.
He's a true engineer and he's a true enthusiast.
Yep.
He's not just somebody sitting at the helm making decisions. Yep. He's making decisions based on his heart.
He truly cares.
It's heart.
He cares too much sometimes.
Sometimes it's not, like you said, the most business savvy.
And I can tell you again, probably shouldn't say this, some of the delays that we've seen over the last year with this, if they would have rolled out the product,
you'd have been fine.
You wouldn't even have noticed.
No.
But he just,
Doug,
he can't get it past.
Yep.
Because I want to be like, Doug, who cares, dude?
But
like, if you're not played the other main, like,
again, that speaks to why that you gave it the accolades that you did.
Yes.
Honestly.
But you got to keep in business, Greg. Got to keep the product going.
I know.
Got to keep going on product.
See, that would be if we went into business making pinball machines. that's where we would butt heads.
We're staying in business, buddy. God, I ain't got the reserve here. Look for CGC to have a huge 2023. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
All right, I think that's it.
Yes.
Let's shut this damn thing down.
I thought this was supposed to only be 15 minutes.
Lord, man. All right, thanks for supporting us straight down the middle. Like, follow, subscribe. Please do that. And if you're looking for a brand new pinball or arcade machine, accessories, or even used stuff, we have a lot of used stuff. It's everything flipping out. We're more dedicated than ever. Next year, you'll see that. To the company and to the media that we're creating. It's Greg and I. It's always going to be Greg.
And if you have any problems with your brand new Flippin' Out purchase, contact Greg at flippingoutpinball.com.
Speaking of freaking person of the year, talking about quality and stuff, fucking killed it. Killed it this year. Just Lord. People ask me, they're always like, so like, I know Greg's your best friend, but like, as an employee, is he good at what? I'm like, I knew he was going to be great. He fucking floored me. Like, he surprises me every day. It's
but you know what? Like, I figured that we would have at least had some issue.
We have none.
It's literally no different than being friends.
We have worked better than even I thought we would. I knew we'd work great.
Yeah. But we also know, I know what you expect of me.
I know what you expect of me.
Yeah, I know how you work. You know how I work. And we don't get in each other's way.
You know what? That's why we're the best damn media team in pinball. We're the best damn.
Well, and you know what I think helped is I already know your passion and commitment to customer service. I am that same way, like you said, about nitpicking and being weird, like Doug is about that stuff. So, like, I understand you and I understand what you want, and my heart and my mind followed that same path. Yeah. So it wasn't a hard thing to do. I just sometimes have to get your approval for major things. But other than that, like, I love my job. Like, I love it. I love my job even when people are frustrating, I love it. Like, it's
been a good year for us.
Yeah.
Just in general, like growth and stuff like that, and an even bigger 2023, and a lot of cool ideas. So,
it's exciting.
We're lucky people. We're lucky to have, and Ted out there, Ted, Tom, Bob, you know who you are. Damn it, thank you. Just wait until you see what we do at 6K. We don't want to get too close to these. We're getting old, so not too much on 6K. But
grain it up a little bit or something.
We'll see you guys next year. Watch the other videos. Check them out.
Yeah.
You hit it off with the bumper knife straight down the middle. You had a fling with a slingshot. You're rolling out the outlet again. I tried to cradle
a ton of toys.